Alabama, one of its two new defensive transfer portal guys, has a new number, that being one Jaylen Key, transfer safety from UAB, has a new number. He will wear number 22. It'll be number 22 for this upcoming season. One Jaylen Key, coming over from UAB, 44 games of experience, a guy that this past season, 60 tackles from his safety position, 4.5 of those for loss, did have 3 interceptions. And the question for him is, does he live up to the significance of that number 22? Because there's a lot of numbers for Alabama football that have a ton of significance, right? You look at numbers like number 12, right? Joe Namath wore that number. Ken Stabler wore that number. Greg McElroy wore that number. There's a lot of significance to number 12. A lot of significance. When you look at numbers like number 4, you've had Jerry Jeudy wear that number. You had Tyrone Prothro wear that number. When you look at number 2, David Deuce Palmer wore that number. Derrick Henry wore that number. There's a lot of significance here with these numbers. Number 32 is a very significant number. When you talk, C.J. Mosley wore that number. Rashaan Evans wore that number. You had Dylan Moses wore that number. He started out doing great with it, got hurt, the ball kind of dropped, and now we're looking at Deontay Lawson as an in-state kid. Can you kind of bring that number back? So when you discuss number 22, that's a significant number. When you talk about players like Major Ogilvie, wore that number. You look at Tony Nathan, wore that number, 22. You look at Mark Ingram, first Heisman Trophy winner, wore that number, 20. You look at DJ Hall. People forget how great he was as a wide receiver, wore that number, 22. Here recently, Najee Harris, Alabama's all-time career leader for rushing yards and rushing touchdowns, wore that number. Here is Jaylen Key wearing this number 22. Will he represent the number well? That number comes with big significance. Will he rep it well? Will he represent it correctly? In that number 22, can he do some big things? Can he do some special things? Can he make some marquee plays here for this Alabama team? Because he's in the secondary, especially in the safety position where there is a lot of competition. You're going up against Malachi Moore in practice, trying to get a spot. You're going up against Caleb Downs in practice, trying to get a spot. You're going up against Christian Story in practice, trying to get a spot. You're going up against Jake the Hitman Pope in practice, trying to get a spot. You're going up against Devontae Smith, the defensive back, in practice, trying to get a spot. You're even going up against the likes of Tony Mitchell in practice, trying to get a spot. So for Jaylen Key, how will he factor into the safety position at Alabama when you're trying to become a starter here, on the field for the Crimson Tide as a transfer? That'll be something that we will all have our eyes on. It'll be something that we'll all be looking with great anticipation because, of course, when you have a DB coach, a secondary coach like Travaris Robinson, he's going to get you ready. He's going to get you prepared for what you're going to face. But as a player, when you're entering a room with so much competition, it's what is your mentality? Where is your wherewithal? Where is your mindset? How do you feel about coming into all of this? And are you set to either beat everybody out to become a starter? Or even if you don't beat everybody out, are you set to fall into your role, whatever that role may be, and play winning football for Nick Saban and the University of Alabama?